Okay, we're recording.
We're recording. I think that's an official thing. I like the way you start that. We're recording.
Okay.
But if I told you, and again, it doesn't matter that we're looking at the red, right? Because I think we already made that determination.
Yeah.
Wait, it's good?
Yeah.
Why are you whispering?
I don't know.
Okay. But you know what? What was I going
I
to
don't
say?
want to talk about it.
You know what? Really? Okay. See, we're going to banter for a moment. Hey, surprise guest over there right now.
We
Just,
haven't had a chance to talk and hurt each other.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay.
It's going to get personal.
So we're going to build up to this, our special guest over here. But right now, we're just going to, how are you doing, Raine?
I'm doing fantastic.
See that or hear that female voice? It's Raine Jordan of AKR Magazine. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Peter.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it. It's cool.
Yeah.
We got a nice guest today.
We
got
do.
a really
I'm
cool
very
guest.
excited.
And I'll tell you, I got to build.
I got to hear him play at your backyard improv.
You did.
I did.
And
I asked you about him.
Okay, she did. That's true too. Okay, so we're building up here. We're building up.
And here he is.
And there, yes, he
Yeah.
is.
Nothing like a drummer. Oh, did I spill the beans?
Yeah, a little bit. Now that I think about it, I see some beans that are spilled on the floor.
Just a few.
I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night without socks, step on them, and it's like stubbing your toe in the middle of the night, right?
Refried beans.
And all of a sudden, the swearing comes out. Okay, before I introduce him, without exaggeration, without trying to be dramatic, one of, if not the crowd favorite. I mean, with the backyard improv, everybody, I'm telling you, dude, you may see it. I don't know if they tell you it or not in person, but anytime they see you coming in, loading in and stuff, they're like, oh, shit. It's Mr. Chris Ruiz.
It got real.
Yeah, what's up? The drummer,
Yeah.
Mr. Chris Ruiz. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. It's good to be here.
Good. I'm glad you're here. Thanks because where are you from? You're
Originally from San Francisco, but living in Pleasanton.
okay. Cool. I know you've got a question you want to ask him.
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of questions.
Well,
But
you
I'll
can
start with
start.
the
I'll
first
let
one.
you ladies first. Ladies first.
Thank you. Chris, nice to meet you in
Likewise.
person. I did have the honor of hearing you play at the Backyard Improv. I don't remember what number it was.
I don't.
Yeah, but it was good.
It was
Farida was
with
there.
Farida and
Different
Okay.
sax player than
that Peter Morgan and Martin Rossop.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed. You are a phenomenal drum player.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Thank
drummer.
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So I have had the honor of hearing you play, but perhaps some of our audience may not have heard you play and also may not know much about you. So I'm going to start with a simple question.
Sure.
I'd like you to tell us in the audience a little bit about like how your passion for drumming started, like back when you were a kid.
Yeah.
How did you get started on that? What captured your imagination? Yeah.
I started before I could even tie my shoes. I fond memories of being in my room with my mom's pots and pans and a couple chopsticks and just banging away. And snapped a bunch of chopsticks until we ran out of them.
The big
At
Chinese
two-
food
at
eater.
2 years
And
old.
then she'd come in, hey, I kind of need the pot to make dinner, kind of thing.
You need your own pot.
Yeah. And little by little that just kind of evolved. And my dad, both parents were very supportive of it, but my dad was a percussionist.
Oh,
And-
musical family.
Right.
Yeah.
So seeing him do what he did, was like, all right, I want to be part of that.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
That makes sense.
yeah,
Mhm.
he got me drumsticks, got me an electric pad to learn on, and it kind of just took off from there. And then that was just hand stuff, mostly percussion, stuff
Mhm.
like that. It wasn't until I think it was 6th grade middle school
Mhm.
that I got to sit behind a drumstick and realized, oh, I could use my feet too.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Whole new challenge. All right,
Yeah.
let's take this on.
Mhm.
And I had a very amazing, supportive teacher who instantly realized there was talent there and just fed it and fed it and fed it. And that was that continued on in high school and college as well. Just my teachers were just like, just do this. don't waste your talent was one of my greatest inspirations. Told me that. Don't waste a good talent.
Yes,
So-
definitely.
And who was that?
Lynn, actually, Anthony's mother-in-law. Yeah, she was a pianist and phenomenal piano player. And we really hit it off as far as talking about music because I was into a lot of classical and I was learning a lot of symphonic orchestra stuff. And so we just started talking, and she realized and recognized that there was something there.
Wow, so your passion goes across genres. I mean, you said
Oh,
your
very
dad was a
much so.
Latin jazz, you
Yeah.
said? Or
Yeah.
And
Through all my family, really.
Mm-hmm.
My sister was very into hip-hop at the time.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin, my uncle were into alternative rock. My uncle was very much into music of the 60s and the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt was into the 80s big time. And by the time the 90s hit, it's like I was really into that scene too. So all those musical genres combined to create what you
I
see
hear
before
that
you.
in the way that he plays the drums.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
going to say
That's
that.
real talk. I
yeah,
hear that.
Definitely. Yeah, I was going to say, how would you describe your sound? Is it a fusion of all of those different
hugely a fusion.
influences? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Latin percussion with my dad, into marching symphonic orchestra, into jazz in high school, and then that evolved little by little into heavy metal.
Yeah.
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 Into classic rock, hard rock, alt rock, and then heavy metal blew up.
Yeah. I felt like you had a lot of dimension when I was here. I was sitting really close to you as well, but I had to get a good look, and I'm like, who is on the drums? Something was blocking me. I'm not sure what it was, but yeah.
I would say a lot of that dimension is definitely my dad's influence.
Oh, really?
Very early on, he's like, you're going to learn how to be delicate with this. You're not just going to smack at it, and try to make as loud a noise as you possibly can. Just
you have a lot of
learn how to be
range,
add a texture.
Yeah, texture, dimension. Yeah.
Yeah, and also his influences be consistent.
Okay.
Keep the tempo.
Yeah.
Set a groove.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's wonderful.
Okay, we're gonna bring up what we're doing today, what we're doing together. I'll tell you a funny story, and I'm referring to the Backyard Improv, as you know. And it's funny, his uncle, he's one of our regulars, Anthony Ruiz, who's actually supposed to be hanging out with us now, but
Uncle Anthony.
something's going on with him, and that's fine. I'll talk shit to him later. No problem. It's all good. We love him. We affectionately call him C-section. He'll probably roll in the door any second now. And don't ask me to explain. No, I better explain, because if I don't explain his nickname right, he just happened to be sitting over in one of our venues here on the third tier, if you will, row. So it could have been 1, 2, 3. In this case, we went with A, B, C, and he was in the C section.
I think I met
the
him.
story,
He was sitting behind me.
Right.
He introduced himself. He's very outgoing.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. The story I got was that it was just coming out of COVID, and he was trying to keep his distance from people and be respectful, and that's how he ended up in the way back, and it just kind of stuck.
I did meet him. He introduced himself. I will not forget that name now. It's ringing a bell.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear your perspective on everything relating to the Backyard Improv when we first met, and your impressions and all that kind of stuff. But from my viewpoint, it's kind of funny, is because it was your uncle that mentioned, hey, my nephew, this guy is a hell of a musician.
Oh, he introduced you.
Man, he needs to, but he mentioned him.
Oh, he mentioned him, okay.
And he said, oh, man, this guy, this dude's it right here. But the whole time he said that, and I was trying to work him in. You had never, I didn't know you, you didn't know me, you hadn't been to one of these yet, but he came to a lot of them, or all of them. This is, I don't know if he's even missed one. But he's like, my nephew, man. I thought you played the bass.
I do.
Okay, but for some reason, that's the capacity in which I thought you were going to come. So I was factoring that in. It was much to my surprise, I don't know, a month later when I tried to rearrange something or whatever it was, that you're like, no, I'm talking about coming in and playing the drums.
Yeah. Drums are my first love.
Okay.
It's the instrument I feel the most comfortable with, especially on stage.
Well, but you play the bass too, huh?
I play the bass too, yeah. And, I actually haven't played the bass on stage since I was like 18 years old, I think. And about a month ago, I jumped in on another kind of improv show kind of thing called the Instant Band Night. You get
Okay.
5 minutes to write a song, and then you go perform it with a group
Oh,
of
this
people
is
you
right
never
up my
met.
alley.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
yeah,
right
this
up
is
my
this is
alley.
happening in
All right,
Oakland.
props to whoever's doing that
And,
shit, because that's cool.
And I, it's like, I just wanted to give it a shot. So I picked up the bass, brought my bass over, and plugged in, and had a good time. But as far as the caliber of musicians that go through the improv, it's like I got a little work
You're
to
talking
do.
about
on
our
bass.
scene.
Yeah,
Talking about
yeah.
our scene, right?
Yeah, I got some
Okay.
work to do, and I would love
You
to
got
put in
work
that
to
work.
do. Yeah, no
yeah.
freaking work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
no.
on now.
I
But
don't
it
think
is-
so either. But
Bass is a different animal.
Who?
Playing bass is a different animal.
Oh,
It's a foundation
you're talking about
instrument.
his reference. to bass.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about drums.
It's a foundation instrument, and if you stop
yeah.
playing, everyone notices.
Yeah.
You know?
okay.
Yeah.
Or if you flub,
Yeah.
and the
Well,
whole band's
especially if
looking
you're
at you.
especially if you're hanging out
But
with Ryan Price or something.
Oh yeah. I think Ryan was, if not the first, at least the second bass player I saw on the Jazz Improv, which was like,
Okay.
oh man, this
Yeah.
is the kind of caliber you're gonna bring. Then I want to be a part of this. You
Okay.
know?
All right. Well, so tell me about it. So from your perspective, just to finish up, you ended up correcting me and saying no, I'm talking about playing the drums.
Yeah.
And then you quickly came into the warehouse. Thank you,
Right.
Claudia Wentworth. I think that was
Yeah.
the first one
Yeah.
we came in there, and I miss that place, dude.
Me too.
With the weather
That was a
right
fun
now,
spot.
I'm dying. I'm trying, Raine. I'm trying to come up
You're
with
going
a
with it.
show for December 30th,
Yeah.
right? So it's not New Year's Eve. It's
Yeah.
the Saturday before
That's a great
that.
date. I
But
like
my
that.
problem is I can't find any place
No,
in the
that-
inside. A lot of our regulars that have inside places are either traveling or they're having family come over then, or
everybody-
it's some shit. I need another warehouse like that.
Yeah.
Chris, we got to work together, bro.
Yes,
Figure out some
that's-
shit. The
yes.
people you know, the people we know. Douglas, the people you know over
Yeah.
there with your IPA, give him an IPA and he's content. Man.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Well, ask around too. So the 30th, right?
The 30th.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is the
but
goal.
here's the problem. Okay, right, look,
Yeah.
I'm glad we go off on other things.
Oh, no,
That-
all
that's
good.
part of the
All
whole
good.
deal. And if
Yeah.
you have any questions
I'm
or
here
anything,
for it.
please feel free to ask or
Yeah,
talk shit
I'm
or
here
whatever
for
it is you want to do. You
Absolutely.
be you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was I saying before I interrupted
The
myself?
30th. We were talking about the 30th. I said
okay.
I'll keep my
Oh,
So-
and my first impression of the improv show.
yeah,
Was that-
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, thank you.
Yeah.
I need somebody else to put me back on track
Bring you
here.
back on board.
So
yeah, reel you in.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So yeah, go ahead. Finish. You were
Oh, it
when
was,
I said, hey, you're going to come to the, let's work on this date,
yeah.
and then you came. Well, your first time playing.
My first time playing was the warehouse, and it was just kind of intimidating.
Mm.
And I did a lot of prep work as far as how I wanted my drums to sound, because I knew I wanted to just deliver on par with what I saw previously.
Mm-hmm.
Because the caliber of musicians you bring are just insane.
Yeah.
Honestly,
agree.
just the best of the best, not just in the Bay Area, but I would say on a global scale.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen a lot of touring acts.
That's
I've
what I
seen
do.
Yeah.
I've seen so many groups coming in and out of the Bay Area. Being
Yeah.
from the area, it's just a music mecca, right?
Yeah.
Growing up.
And what a mix as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So to
Mhm.
see the caliber you were bringing in was just like, damn, this is hot.
Hot
This is
stuff.
the
You
place
know
to
what?
be.
He fits in perfectly.
He does.
Man, does he not?
He really
I mean,
does.
He fits
Yeah, I
in
appreciate that.
He
perfectly.
really does.
And this is real talk. And I'm sure
Mhm.
Raine's got other questions, and if you want to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. But I will say this, and this is real talk. 46 of them now. We missed seeing you at the last one. That
Yeah.
was something cool
Yeah.
too. But I'm always, that's like my TV. So when I'm
Yeah.
painting or I'm drawing or something, sometimes I'll have either the Warriors or the Niners on, but if not, it's the YouTube channel where I'm going back and playing these. I've created a playlist on the Backyard Improv on YouTube, right? And I swear, I love all the songs. That's why I put them up.
Yeah.
And the mood changes every now and then. You're in the mood to hear this, you're in the mood to hear that. But I swear, out of the top 10, I hate to even do that, but if I had to say, okay, here are my favorite 10, that's where it's just like picking favorite children. I swear, dude, you're in like 6 of them
Oh wow, okay.
with different people.
Wow, yeah.
That's something.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I
Honored and
appreciate
flattered.
that. Well, I'm glad, and you're such a cornerstone. So I know whenever I call you, if you're free, you're going to do it. And I know Raine's got a question, but I do want to hear very much about that other project that you're working on.
Oh, the new position?
Yeah, the new position.
The new
So-
position, it's a female-fronted hard alt rock, I guess you can describe it as.
Mhm.
We do vary into like some punk, and a little bit of metal, which is mostly on the drums portion of things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got a lot of groove, and it's got a lot of sections to each song, and
No, you have to check this out. So he told me about it, and was it
TNProcks.com.
Rocks.com. So TNProcks.com. But you got to go on there and check this out.
I actually play bass on the albums for that.
I have to
group
go
of
on to
See,
drums and bass.
tnprocks.com. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
as
Yeah.
does everybody else.
Okay.
TNProcks.com.
Got it. Yeah.
I feel
no, I
that
will.
would be like
I'm going tonight after the
88.7
podcast.
TNP Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've been doing that
Yes,
for
I gotta
quite
check
a
that
while
out.
now.
Yeah, I
and
didn't know where to check you out. You know, I wanted to before I come in. I like to kind of just get an idea of what you're doing in the
Yeah,
in
and
the bay or
a lot
whatever.
of that's
yeah.
my fault.
Oh, it's okay.
I've been
It's everybody actually.
I've been so
Nobody
in and
does
out of
it well.
groups for so many years
Mhm.
that it's like I finally reach a point where it's like, I'd really need to represent myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that came about within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I gained popularity. I'm aware of that, but yeah, I'm an internet ghost for the most part, and it's mostly just to protect my privacy, like
Yeah.
anything else. But at the same point, like I
Oh,
do need to get out there more.
I
and
think you need
be
a
more
presence.
present. Yeah,
Yeah, people want to
know.
find you, and
Yeah.
we are just it's technology right now.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Anyway,
it's something
that would
I'm
be
working
great
on.
to
Yeah.
have a great website.
Along with
and,
TNP Rocks, and they're very
Mhm.
supportive of
Mhm.
this. That I will be putting out some of my own music again on my own,
Nice.
on my own website and YouTube channel and all that. And
But
They're
just
just
getting back to
amazing
that
people.
band real quick, it's
Mhm.
funny because we have our own perception, and sometimes I'm going to roll into something kind of deep.
go.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know how I get, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
Let's
thinking
go.
is like sometimes we have what we think of ourselves, our own self-perception, versus what we think other people think about us, right? Sometimes they're in a line, and other times, they might be a little bit different. But man, I thought you sounded a little bit more alty. So sometimes we put labels on things. So the
Right.
same group that he's talking about, I heard it, and no, I heard all the qualities you're talking about. All the descriptors you used, you're right on point with it. But I just wanted to add one because I heard was she was singing. Man, she got a great voice.
yeah, she does.
She got that really. It's like an alt rock.
When I heard the
voice.
demos, she reminded me a lot of like Portishead, but with a little
That's
more
what I'm
edge.
talking about. That's exactly
and
what
I'm like,
talking
ooh,
about.
that's a great sound. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guitarist, they're actually a married couple.
Okay.
They've come to the shows.
Yeah, they've been in the shows.
Okay.
Yeah,
Super nice people.
yeah. And the guitarist, he knows how to lay down a groove.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
So you're playing with them now.
yeah,
Okay.
No, but okay, so, and we're here to talk about whatever, but I want to give the man big props on that. And, I look forward to starting the new season. So, I can't wait for the number
too.
4 to come up here pretty soon. Raine. Well, and Chris, what are you guys doing for Christmas? Who's going where? What are you doing? Do you have any concerts or anything, gigs lined up between now and Christmas?
most of the groups I tend to play with tend to go travel abroad for
Right.
Christmas. So
Mhm.
very likely I'll either end up with family or just working.
Yeah.
Haven't really decided which yet. Depends on the
And what are you
finances, I
doing,
guess.
Home. Yeah, I'm staying
You're
with
just chilling
family.
at home?
Yeah, friends and family, definitely. Yeah.
I can't wait. The 49ers are playing on Christmas Day.
Oh no! Yeah, right on.
Okay, if you don't
Against-
know, I'm a
against
big
who?
49er fan, man.
Who are they playing?
Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Jackson Lamar.
I know
Lamar
nothing about. I know
Jackson
nothing
Lamar.
about this.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I have never been diagnosed with dyslexia, but it kicked in right there. It's Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Jackson Lamar. I'm not sure where I got that, but I'm super excited about that. But you know what? I fall into a weird thing these days. Okay. My kids were little. I've got my 2 sons, right?
Mhm.
And then when the whole family's together, and then it's just me and my boys and whatnot, people would come to us.
Mhm.
But now both my sons are married, that they've got wives and they got different lives, and they live like fucking 5 miles apart from each other and barely ever see each other, and they're
Oh,
almost
that's how
like
it goes,
neighbors
yeah.
and
Isn't
stuff.
that weird?
Everybody's just
You
going
think you're
about,
moving closer and you never see the person.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, dude, you live next
It's too
door.
convenient now.
Yeah, what I'm saying is just weird. But now I'm the dude tasked with the idea of running around to everybody's house. Okay, so I better go visit Diego in the morning from here to here, and then
Yeah,
from after
exactly.
that, I got to go to Hunter's in-laws
Right.
because he's with his wife, and he's got a Latin wife. She's from Mexico. Both my sons' wives are from Mexico. And where are you from originally?
My family's from Central America.
Central America.
Panama,
Whereabouts?
Nicaragua, and El Salvador.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
Do you speak?
Are you bilingual?
There was a time where I was, and I kind of gave it up
Yeah.
in my childhood. My
Yeah.
mom insisted that I learn English and
Okay.
the
Yeah.
language of here and
Yeah.
just get good at it. And
Yeah. You can always pick it up again, I guess.
absolutely, yeah. I saw the ear for it
Yeah.
too.
Was your wife
understand
Hispanic as well?
El
Well, your
Salvadorian.
son, Diego, you know,
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Well,
his
okay,
wife
uh,
must have been Hispanic.
No, okay. See, I'm glad you brought this up. She's from El Salvador. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and I will tell you this is funny. So my sons are Hunter and Diego. Okay. Diego was named by me before he was even born. I was dating her like the second, third date. And we're at like an IHOP or some shit like that with her mother. So it's me, the
That's
mother.
a third date. Oh, man.
and-
That's
But
serious. They're
I don't
moving
know
quick.
what it was. It's like, I don't know what's happening. But it was really early into the relationship. And we're sitting at this IHOP right here. And I swear to God, this is a real story,
That's
right?
Hispanics. They bring their whole family.
No, yes, right.
I can say
I'm like,
that.
I'm just here to pick up,
Do you
you
mind if I
know.
bring my mother?
Yeah. I mean, oh, by the way, mom's coming, okay, or abuela or something like that, right? But what's funny is
Gotta have
that
the chaperones.
so we're there, but I'm just me, man. I was even me way back then. I was me then, and I'm now.
No way. I
Yes,
can't
yes,
imagine
mean,
that.
but so we're there and we're ordering, right? And a waiter walks by. I just met this chick a month ago, you know, and a third date or whatever. And I hear somebody call to the waiter, "Hey, Diego, come over here." I said, "That sounds cool." I didn't think, she's going to be a wife or anything like that. I said, "I like that name."
All right.
And what's really funny is, so here's the white dude, if you will. That name really resonated with me. And as a very matter of fact, as I'm sitting at the table, totally not caring what these people are going to think about this statement that's about to come out from me, is I'm just very mad. I swear this is some funny shit. Okay. I was just like, Diego. Now, when I have a son, his name will be named Diego. I swear to God.
I love that
said
about you,
that.
Peter. I do.
What's that?
I love that about you.
can
Spontaneous
Yeah,
combustion.
not
you
even
know?
like if she likes it or anything else. Maybe that's not why
That's
I'm
so
married
cool.
anymore.
And
Like
here we go.
15 years. And
That's
shit,
probably
you know?
it.
Okay, and then to top the story off, okay, and then please tell me a story when you were younger, that's something that nobody else knows and you probably don't want them to know. But so we have Diego. 3 years later, the other son is cooking, okay, and she said to me, "All right, you named our first son. I'm naming the next child." And basically fuck off with whatever So she didn't say it like that, but she's like, okay, just
She got this one,
I
right?
got
play
this
fair.
one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's my turn, right? And she names Hunter.
I know that's a
She picks the whitest person's name.
I'm like, wow.
Okay,
those are
that's
Right.
like
definitely
she picks
different.
Hunter, and I pick Diego. The funny thing is, I picked Diego sight unseen. I didn't go, he's got like olive skin and whatnot.
All right.
And he comes out the Latin looking one.
He looks
All right.
exactly like a
Before
Diego.
Hunter's born,
Beautiful.
picks
Beautiful
out,
child.
she picks the name, and he comes out total towhead, white, skinny. They're next to each other, and
They
they're
don't even
like,
look
"Who are
like
these?"
brothers.
They
Yeah.
they don't. So people are like thinking, well, maybe you got married, different. No, they're from the same oven, same cooker. So
That's
Of,
cool.
of the same vein, I can
Yeah.
relate.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, right?
My mom knew both the kids' names. My dad did not get a say in any of this.
Okay.
He might have chosen my middle name. It's actually his first name,
Okay,
Which is what?
Chris.
Renee.
Oh,
Ren-
Renee. Okay.
Renee's
Renee?
my middle name.
That's beautiful.
But my mom knew our names right out the gate, and
Mm-hmm.
same vein. My sister got all the bronze, copper skin,
Nice. Uh-huh.
and I burn in like 35 minutes in the sun. So
What's your sister's name?
Stephanie?
Stephanie.
Yeah.
So Stephanie and Chris.
Yeah, she got all the toner, and my mom ran
Mhm.
out by the time she got to me.
That's
So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, a lot of people didn't realize we were siblings until we
Mhm.
tell them. Then they're like, "Oh, I kind of see
Yeah.
it." Mostly in the eyes. Both our eyes are green.
Yeah.
We went on a cruise to Alaska with a lot of senior citizens, already retired, and it's just us. And we were 2 out of maybe like 6 people that were under the age of 35. And there was a newlywed on board, and this happened to be the Love Boat of all ships, the actual Love Boat where they filmed
Yeah.
the
Oh,
show.
really? What's the love boat?
The actual Love
Okay.
Boat. And everyone thought that we were the couple. And it's like, no, we're just siblings. Thanks for making it awkward. And then, you tell the same people the same thing so many times because they're elderly and they keep forgetting. And by the end, it's like, whatever, fine. Yeah, we're the couple. It is what it is. In their head, we are, and it just is what it is.
I'm just glad somebody didn't realize that and then cast aspersions on you, like, how sick are they?
Yeah.
That's fun, dude. That was good. That was good. Okay,
Very
Raine,
cool. Yeah.
I know you got something funny. And you,
Yeah, well, funny. I don't know if it's
Well, I
funny,
don't
but
know,
I'm
just
interested.
strange.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in you as a person and an artist. Yeah. So, as you what is your what is your creative, how do you get your ideas and how do you practice and how do you create?
All in my head.
Okay,
honestly.
really?
Even as a kid, a lot of people will say, I started practicing to Def Leppard or whatever. And a lot of people assume that I listened to Def Leppard, which I really didn't. But all in my head, even as a child, I had songs in my head and I would just play along to it. And when I was learning drum kit especially, I didn't have access to it until I was 15 until I got my first actual drum kit. So a lot of the practice happened in my head. And then I would just figure the parts out, figure out what it took to get my limbs to do that. And then by the time I sat behind the kit, it was like, all right, let's apply that practice, apply the knowledge. And to this day, I still practice that way. Even though I have a drum kit set up at home, I rarely ever use it unless I'm going to film something or, I'm getting ready for a specific, studio session. Then I'll probably these are the drum fills I want to try and see which one works best in the song.
Wow.
But other than that, it's all in my head.
Don't you think that's amazing? I mean, that's the power of imagination.
Yeah.
The power of the mind, the power of imagination that you can actually create in your head and then follow it on a physical level because the drumming is so physical as well.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
We burn a lot of calories.
Yeah.
I recently found out we can burn anywhere from 500 to 2,000 calories in an hour.
Okay. And so that aspect of it, the physicality of drumming, what is that like for you?
Depends on the band I'm playing with, but it's always going to be high energy. I try to deliver as much energy as possible. Doesn't matter who I'm behind. Even if I'm playing as softly as possible, I try to bring as much energy into the room as I can.
And what about that as an experience for you as an artist? Obviously, we are experiencing our music. We're experiencing the audience. It's a multi-dimensional experience.
Oh,
so as the artist, as the drummer, what is that physical experience like for you?
It can be emotional at times.
Yeah.
Especially in my very first improv show, I was a wreck afterwards. The emotional experience of it was just huge for me because all the prep work that I put into it.
Exactly.
I completely refaced my drums that weren't ready until 2 days before, and that was a very stressful moment for me. They went from a black veneer shell into a hazy whitewash that they are now. And a lot of that was my transition of exiting, just being in the back. As a drummer, you're often in the back. Exactly. The stage lights are so poor in most of the places we play that I'm just in the back and I'm in the dark. And I didn't want to be that anymore. So this was very much a statement of just here we are, here I am, and this is what's going to happen from now on. I'm going to be seen, I'm going to be heard, and transition that into my future career of, all right, let's represent me, and through that, we'll represent my bands as well.
Okay.
And everyone's been very supportive of that.
That is
which
wonderful.
Has been awesome.
It's a good statement as well.
Yeah. And it was a hard conversation to have with them at first because I knew they would be supportive, but at the same time, I've been in a lot of groups where people would just get so jealous of popularity within the group, well, what about me?
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah. There was a lot of situations, especially early on in getting into alt rock and heavy metal, where I would walk into the room because I have the most gear. I'd be the first one there, and a lot of people would assume I was the singer or the guitarist, and singers, not a lot of singers are into that. They tend to be very egotistical, and to work with people that don't have egos is kind of a hard find.
I agree.
Whereas a lot of people I work with now, it's you know what? You get popular, we get popular. And
that's right.
That's how it should be, especially in music. If you have someone in your band that shines, let them shine a little bit.
It's a collaboration.
Right,
Everybody shines, really.
Exactly. You need each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. That was a really interesting answer.
Hey, don't mind that muttering before. Yes, this is. Hey, it's unscripted. That was purposeful. That random chatter in the back there. But more. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
Right now.
All right.
Yes. So. Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, but she doesn't want so much of a profile.
Oh, no, yeah,
Okay,
and
good.
I am
So-
consciously
Oh,
moving in this
okay.
direction.
All right. Good.
Get off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. But is he good? You got him in the...
Okay. He's
Yeah.
he's got it under control. No, somebody's
'Cause we
listening to
wanna
this. Like,
see
what the
him.
hell did
Really,
they
he's
just
the most
transition to?
important- Yeah,
Yeah,
they
no.
see me every week,
But
you know.
the poor listener, right? There was no transition of like, this is
I
what we're
know,
going
that's
to talk
okay.
about now.
They'll be all right.
And it's basically my fault, but that's why you love me, hopefully.
No, I mean,
because of the
that's-
random shit that
Yeah.
I think that's the best approach because you kind of just get to bring out the people's personality,
Yeah.
not knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
You know, I equate that to like a lot. I watch a lot of late night shows because I'm an insomniac. So growing up with that, you know, Saturday Night Live and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the best hosts that bring out the best in people are the ones that bring out the most random questions.
Yeah.
I think of like Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
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 He's
Yeah.
just so off the cuff. You never know what's going to come out
Yeah.
of his mouth, and you get the best response
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm here for it.
look, they either love you or they hate you.
Who
I guess
cares?
there's people that are indifferent, right?
Oh, and that's the battle of music. You know,
Yeah.
you could post what you think is the best piece possible, and you're gonna get both sides of that coin. Like,
Right.
oh, well, you didn't learn your rudiments. You know, which is most often what the drummer.
learn your rudiments,
yeah, you
really?
didn't learn your rudiments. Of
Uh-huh.
course, I did.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
and when I was growing up and transitioning into drum kit, it's like you learned all that stuff. You
Yeah.
had to.
Yeah.
It was class requirement in
Yeah.
order to play.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like you learn off YouTube and online. You don't have to learn all that
Whatever.
stuff to
Yeah.
play whatever genre you want to play.
Yeah.
So-
Exactly.
I'm very old school in that sense, where I had to go through all those.
You had
steps to
you have
get-
a solid foundation,
right to get to
like
where I
a-
am now. Yeah,
solid
and that's why I'm
educational
able to
foundation.
jump in from genre to genre because I learned them all.
I think that's amazing.
My dad insisted on learning them all.
Yeah,
and
that's the
that-
way to go.
as a kid, I hated it. It's like, no, I want to be a rock drummer, you know?
But it gives you so much
But-
fluidity out,
Right.
because you can go anywhere,
Right.
and hence your
Yeah.
playing obviously shows that. It
And
really does.
When I
yeah.
was 20, it really showed because I was hired to do a studio gig for a
Mhm.
country group, and all I knew was a country group. That's all I knew
Oh, okay.
walking into the place. And
Uh-huh.
here I am with hair down in my chest, you know,
Mhm.
and chain that's like 3 feet long, and
Uh-huh.
you know,
Mhm.
clothes are tattered and
Mhm.
torn with like metal
Mhm.
bands, shit all over it, spikes, and you know, no, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
a fish out
it
of
was a
water or
look.
something.
It was
Yeah.
a look,
Yeah.
you know.
It was a
Yeah.
look.
It was
Yeah.
a look.
Yeah, it was a look,
Yeah, it
all
was a
right.
look.
And I'll tell you what, bro, you got looks.
And so here I walk in, and these guys are like, "Who the hell is this fucking kid?" Right?
Yeah.
You know, what the hell is he gonna do?
You're in the wrong
What do
place.
you know? Yeah, exactly, right. But they told me
Studio.
they wanted 3 different styles for each song. It's 10 songs, so 3 different styles. So that's 30 different tracks
Mhm.
right out the
Mm.
gate. It's like, all right, cool, let's do this. So show me where I'm gonna go, and let's just get started.
Mhm.
And right out the gate, this is an old timey country feel that I gave them. They're like, oh damn, all right,
Yeah.
I take back everything I thought about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
How-
you're doing.
What a good feeling that is.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Everybody relaxes,
Yeah.
and you can relax as well.
And
yeah.
and it was the engineer who was there who was like, you know what, you have a real talent there,
Mhm.
and your tempo was solid.
Mhm.
Like the click track, like what click track? You didn't need it,
Mhm.
you know. So
Very cool.
it was him that's like, dude, pursue this a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
never
he s-
considered being. in
What,
the
what he
studio.
said, I go ahead. What?
No, I just want to say a spontaneous thing. Just hearing you and like hearing about your talent and all of the experiences that you're having, and not to continue to reiterate this, but I really would love to see you online with a presence, because to get that presence out there, it's not that hard to build a website.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Because you have so much to offer. I think you'll have so many other opportunities that you have no idea what
Yeah.
they might be. You
Agreed,
know?
agreed.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
And talk
pursue
about
music
being
more,
seen.
especially after pandemic.
Yeah.
I looked at a lot of people who had the pandemic experience. Like, you know, I stayed home and I had to figure things out, and
Yeah.
I learned
Mhm.
a different language,
Yeah,
or I learned how to
exactly.
get better at
Uh-huh.
guitar, or
Uh-huh,
whatever
yeah.
it may be. I didn't have that experience. I worked through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about a year ago, I'm like, you know, what would I have accomplished if I had that kind of time?
Mm-hmm.
2 years of just,
Mm.
let's just.
Yeah, exploring,
out.
right? Getting creative.
Right.
Yeah.
I got news for you.
Mm-hmm.
yes, there are some people who took advantage of that time and they fine-tuned their craft, and they, they finally took advantage of that time they wish they had.
Yeah.
But for 95% of everybody, regardless of your aspirations or dreams, it was a wasted 2 years.
Really?
Yeah,
I
mean,
think so, because you either
Wow,
got
this is
sick
a
at some-
conversation.
well,
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, I mean,
yeah, go ahead. I want to.
I would disagree there. Having gone to so many concerts now,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these people had nothing but time to sit there and think about what do we want to do next.
oh yeah,
Right.
plotting and planning,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes,
I mean, you look at lighting now compared to before pandemic, and it's
Yeah.
night and day. The stage show is just, it's arena rock, even in a small venue,
Uh-huh.
because they had nothing but time to figure
Actually,
this
you
out.
know what? I think this is a sign of growth. I think I'm ascending, okay?
You are
Because
ascending.
right on the
all
spot, I'm
ascending.
going to change my answer.
Yeah, go.
You're right.
Uh-huh.
I was
Yeah,
wrong.
It's a
Okay,
I was
it
gonna
wasn't
give
a
some
wasted
too,
2
so go
years.
ahead.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, as an
okay.
artist,
But I was
you know,
gonna
it's a
affirm
it's a new
your
renaissance that
idea.
we're facing.
Yeah, but you're right. I'm wrong. So this
Wow.
makes me think.
This
I have
is
this
growth.
painting here. It's called Ascend.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
What's funny about it is that I forget what the number was. Okay, we were in Walnut Creek here, Shane and Monica's house. You were with Ryan Price. Okay, here's a funny story. All right, this is the only time I've ever had this happen outside of the club, and I only had it happen one time on the inside of the club where the musician didn't show. If you remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So
we were
if
waiting
you
for a
remember
fourth.
where,
Yeah,
okay,
I think it was
so
a
you
sax
were with
player.
Ryan Price. Yes.
Yeah.
So you were
And,
with Ryan
was it
Price
Bobby?
and Bobby Valderrama
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
keys. So you guys ended up being a trio.
Yeah.
And one of the songs was called Soul Ascend.
Mm.
So as my good buddy Doug over there, and hopefully your beer's adequate, because I know when his beer temperature is adequate, dude, this is going to be an ongoing
Doug
thing.
happy.
So even when he's not around anymore,
You're
every
such a
show
great
I'm
host.
going to
You really
reference his obsession with the right temperature of beer. I don't know how I'll integrate it every time, but I'll find a way whether you're here or not. But I digress. What is the thing that you like the most about yes, I'm kind of serving a softball up here for you, but what do you like the best about the Backyard Improv? As the way we do it, because I don't know, I've had this conversation with a lot of people, and I don't think it's like, I'm not the only one involved, okay?
Right.
I spearhead the thing, but there's so many people
It's
that
a lot of
help.
moving
You
parts.
guys, a lot of moving parts, and all you guys, without you guys, so it's going to be hard to duplicate, but what do you like about it?
The energy, the crowd energy, especially. I before getting into the improv, I was getting very aware of how unhappy I was playing restaurants. You're just background noise. People don't give
Yeah.
a shit.
We
one
talked
way or
about this
the
a few
other,
times.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
And to have a crowd that's actively listening is very special. But to
Gosh.
have a crowd that's not only actively listening, but also very aware that they're never going to hear this again.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a special moment. This is
Yeah.
not going to happen again.
Never.
It's just a whole different energy that I've never felt before.
You gave me
Really?
goosebumps,
Yeah.
by the way.
And I won't repeat it, but in front of everybody, I will say thank you. Thank you for what you represent. We all go through struggles in our lives, different ways and different forms. Thank you for persevering like you have, to get the talents that you have, to be able to share them with us, because it is a treat. Whenever you come and play, and of course I feel the same way about the other musicians as well, but I really feel that way about you, and I'm just so happy that you're part of this thing. I feel good every time you come, but you sent off a nice email the other day when I asked you if you wanted to join us, so it was a bit of a drive, so thank you very much, and thanks for the kind words. I appreciate that. So
You've been very supportive of me from the get-go, so
yeah.
I appreciate that too.
And I only wish I would have realized you were a drummer sooner. I would have had you guys show
No.
earlier than that.
No,
but
I
you've been in like
I mean,
now,
fate is what it
dude,
is,
You've
you
been
know?
in like what? How many of them? Like 6 or
I
7?
think
or
7 at this
Okay,
point,
I've
yeah.
lost count,
Yeah.
but yeah, very.
How
cool.
about having 2 drummers?
I was in the club,
Oh my
and
goodness,
I
that would
had.
be great.
I don't know if you guys know
How about
this or
Chris
not.
and Chris?
Well, the problem.
Chris Scamper and Chris.
Okay,
Chris
well,
Ruiz.
that, now the
The
Chris
drummer.
times 2, the double Chris, Chris Cross,
Chris
okay?
squared is how I
Chris
always
squared.
hear it, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
oh man, the
So,
nicknames are plenty.
here's the funny thing about my name. By the time I reached freshman year, I knew 25 Chris's.
Yeah. It's a
So
very popular.
yeah,
name.
and my
Mhm.
best friend's name was Chris. So
Mhm.
a lot of people, especially the girls, wanted to talk to him. So it's like by the time I heard Chris, it's like I just stopped responding. They're not talking to me at all, you know. So it took a while to get used to my name. So hearing it from Peter, especially, is like, oh wow, that is my name. Like, yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny. That's funny. I think we were talking to Chris Gamper.
Mhm.
She mentioned last week, and
Two
I did the
drummers
same
in a
thing.
row.
Do you want to
Yeah.
be, Chris or what do you like better, Chris or Christopher? And I guess he said something pretty funny. It's like he didn't want to be
Oh,
like all
Topher.
the other Tophers.
Oh no.
So he's just going with Chris. He's leaving the other half of the.
My friend tried that for a while.
Topher?
Oh, Topher? Is that-
yeah,
is
and
that
it's
a
like,
thing?
nah,
Is
dude,
that
I
a
don't
thing
care much
amongst
for
you
that.
Chris's?
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
see you learn shit. Dude.
That's a bad choice.
Yeah.
I never heard of
I
that.
wouldn't
Have
go
you
there.
ever, people?
Well, I've heard people
heard
using their last
Topher.
name.
I've heard
the last part of
Stouffer.
their names. I've done that.
Stouffer. I'm like, no, let's do Stouffer's pot pie. You know, let's not do
Stouffer's
that.
makes it okay, I think they had a lasagna that wasn't half bad. Okay, I'm just going to go off subject. I don't know how long we've been. My guess is probably 15 more minutes or something like that. But I want to
We're at
ask
40.
you guys a question. What time?
We're at 40 minutes.
See, I got an
Yeah.
internal clock.
Yeah, see?
This isn't what I was
See,
going
you're
to
a
ask
drummer.
you.
You didn't even know it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, is that what it takes?
Yeah, it's all
You have
Oh
to
yeah,
have
for a
it's an
drummer.
internal
clock.
clock. It's all internal
You
clock.
are timing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have that? Do you have these body clocks? Like, do you go to bed on a regular thing? Do you wake up whether you
I
need
don't
the
have a
alarm
regular
or not?
bedtime. I'm an
But I have an
insomniac
internal
through
clock.
and
I can wake up anytime
yeah,
I want. Yeah.
Dude, I only get like 3 hours of sleep a night.
Really?
I'm about 2 to 4. Yeah.
2 to
Give or
4.
take.
I'm a solid 8.
You say,
Yeah, and
that's
as,
why
you
you're
know,
all spunky and shit all
Yeah.
the time. You're like,
Yeah.
and she's a vegan and stuff,
Yeah.
drinking
Yeah,
coconut
definitely.
water.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
what else can you teach us, oh wise
Yeah.
one?
Well, just stick around a little while
I
longer.
think that's what throws people off because I'm so just unassuming and calm and casual throughout
Yeah.
the day, but behind drums it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Oh my
You
goodness.
know,
Oh, I
like,
say
where'd
that
that
every
come
time
from,
I
right?
see you.
You are so dynamic. Yeah, you
Yeah.
really are. Oh my gosh. I mean, you get down.
You learn how to
You
conserve
really
energy
do.
until that moment.
Yeah, that's why I asked you about the physicality part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
also.
I think he's
like
the,
that passion.
I think he's
Wow.
the only drummer too.
Mhm.
I think he's the only one that I'm connected with that I know that brings his own industrial fan.
Oh yeah, the air mover.
Yeah.
The air mover. It's the
Yeah.
kind of thing you put underneath carpets
Right.
to
Dry paint and dry
the
the
carpet
glue and,
when
yeah.
you had a flood or a pipe
Yeah.
burst.
Because you're
he
perspiring,
hooks
right?
that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
up in
Yeah.
front of him.
Yeah, I mean, you're sweating like
Even in
you're
the
working
winter, that
out.
thing's
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
It is
I
a
mean,
workout,
man,
yeah.
that
So,
is
so what you're
fantastic.
saying is I don't have to worry about you and temperature?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
at
that's-
all.
There's
I
your
mean-
that's a
shirt
factor
on.
right
I
now.
mean, a lot of the places I play in Livermore, especially, it's like 115 outside, and we're
Can be.
outside in it, and it's just
You
we
need an
gotta-
AC.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
No,
brutal.
but so
Otherwise,
I'm-
drumsticks gonna be flying in the back of people's heads, or
All
who knows
slimy
where
and
they
everything.
But I'm
Yeah.
thinking now. But I'm talking about the coldness. I'm talking the other
Oh,
side
even in the
of
winter,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. even
So
in the
you'd
winter.
be okay now to
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it would be on
Okay.
a low setting, which is like probably a high on a regular fan. give or
Oh,
take.
you would still have it going even
Yeah.
now with it
Oh,
being
yeah.
like 38
Oh,
degrees
absolutely.
outside now.
Yeah,
Oh damn.
yeah.
See, Chris
I-
Gamper made the drums sound all sexy, like I was gonna get women by
Playing the
doing that.
drums.
And I guess it's because I compared it to the flute or something last time. We were talking flute versus drums
Well,
and
drums
stuff like
are,
that.
drums are sexy.
But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he puts a whole new
Definitely.
spin on the thing.
Why?
I don't know. I
What
got mixed
spin?
feelings.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, because he made it
because
sound
of
like
the
there's.
physicality of it, and
Well, yeah, it just sounds
That's
like
the
there's a lot of
sexy
shit
part.
you got to go through.
That's
Right
the-
There
here.
is,
That's
yeah,
the sexy
and you don't.
I
You,
thought I was going to
physical
get
part.
women if I
And
played
the
the
sound
drums,
of
but
Okay.
now he makes it sound like
the
actual
drum is
work.
the heart.
Yes-
the drum
yes,
is
you
the,
can.
The symbol of the
you
heart.
can. However, I mean, it does put a damper on being social, especially in certain clubs. And
Oh, because you get in trouble.
no, because we have so much gear.
Yeah,
By the time we're done setting or tearing everything down, everyone's gone.
yeah, got
You
it.
know, so it's hard to have a social life and be a drummer because
So your groupies got to wait.
assuming they do, or they move on to the guitar player or bass player or whoever it may be. At
So,
that night.
okay, if you had to rank them, what do you think is the one that gets the most?
Oh, I'll tell you
I-
right now.
Oh, you have your own.
I mean-
okay, wait a minute. Let's hear
Okay.
her ranking.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
From a
guitar.
novice.
It's
Sure,
the electric
So
guitar.
you're saying-
guitar.
Okay,
yeah.
so give me the top 5.
Singer, guitar,
Okay.
lead
I
singer.
want an official
guitar.
thing. Pretend we were on like a real show and they would put up the list. So,
Okay.
okay,
I'm gonna
n-
go.
we're gonna go from 5 to 1. All right. So
Yeah.
number 5 is what on the musician scale of
Number
getting
5.
booty?
Getting booty. Female or male?
Yeah, whatever. Getting action.
Sway the way.
Getting action. Number 5 is
No,
what?
okay.
I'm going to say the number 5 is going to be, let's see, upright bass.
Upright bass.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even think that would make the
Okay.
list.
I honestly
Um,
didn't think so either.
Okay.
Yeah. Though I think
so
it's sexy. I love every instrument, so
Yeah.
I'm a music lover. So
I'm
sexy
already
too.
learning a lot about you right
Yeah.
now. Okay, so
Yeah.
number 4.
Well, someone help me.
No,
Why
no,
me?
no. This is your
I mean,
list.
is
This
this
is your
genre
list.
specific? I mean,
Oh,
upright
yeah.
bass. I'm assuming you're like kind of the jazz realm. More or
I am
less?
sort of a straight ahead jazz person, but I love all music. Yeah.
Okay, all I know is number 5 is the upright bass. It's getting it quite frequently, but not every day. Okay, so number 4 is getting it more frequently. Go ahead. Who's
Number
up?
4. Let's see. Goodness gracious. Name some instruments.
I mean,
You got sax, guitar,
saxophone, trumpets,
yeah.
trombones. You have your tubas, your.
Okay, I'm going to
sousaphones,
say
like
a
the-
horn of some kind.
Okay.
a horn.
Even
of
though
some
I
kind.
think the horn is central to jazz, and God, some of my favorite musicians are horn players, but I'm going to go horn as far as sexiness.
Okay, so all right, that raised
We're
up the
talking like
level.
booty, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
talking booty. This is the kind of thing
Yeah.
where the horn
Yeah,
player rolls
you got
up
you
to
got to
the
line out the
bar
door,
Okay,
just
yeah.
like
after
waiting
the,
for you to
Okay,
pop
yeah,
out.
okay.
after the show. The
Okay,
horn
I'm
player.
trying to think of the. I'm trying to work up to one. Okay.
That's what I was
okay,
wondering
we're
if it was
going now.
genre
But let me
specific
give you.
too.
I got a very specific picture in my head. This is how this goes. After you guys are done playing, you go up to the bar, all right? And as the sax player there,
If there's time permitting.
They're all equal
Okay.
to me, but
There's
as far as
4 women
sexiness,
there.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. I mean,
what's
just what
the
looks
ratio of
sexy
these
on
women
stage,
going to
and,
want to come to you?
just the movements, the everything.
Okay, so that's 4.
Okay.
All right,
Right,
number
so
4. So 4 is
Is
you
the
know, like,
horn of
got
some
a good
kind.
chance with 2
Trumpet.
of those chicks.
God, I love. Man, I can
Okay.
think of trumpeters. I love though. Okay.
Okay, so 3.
Um.
Now this
3.
is number 3 is like, man, he's hey man, he's got it going. His
Yeah, man.
numbers sticking out of
Okay,
his
3.
pocket.
I'm gonna go with the bass.
Another bass.
Electric bass.
Electric
Electric
bass.
bass.
Oh,
And
she's
then-
got a lot of love for you, bass.
Yeah.
Those bass
Uh-huh.
players.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, number 2. I'm gonna go with the drummer.
The drum. Okay.
Yeah, look at Anderson Paak. I love that guy. He's sexy as hell and
Okay.
talented.
Okay.
Um,
I'm learning a lot about Raine.
okay.
Okay.
And then number 1
Yeah. What's number
is
1?
going to be like a combination of the guitar and the lead singer. If he sings and he
Oh, he
plays
does
the guitar,
both. He's got to do.
He's
it.
like-
Forget about
or
it.
she-
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking like Sting or something like that.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Guitar and singing, forget it. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah, they get dual spotlights on guitar singer combos.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somebody playing the other day. I forget what band it was, but I love the drummer singer combo.
It's
Dude, do you
it's,
ever break out vocals?
I'll do background vocals from time
Do
to
you?
time.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
Isn't that hard? Isn't that
but
hard
the
to
drums
play?
it took
to
some work
me
to get
is
to it,
such
and
a
that was
sexy
another
instrument.
challenge that I enjoyed was like
Yeah.
learning how to sing and play at the same time because they're opposing rhythms more often than not.
Yeah. that
And
just
there are
looks
so
hard
few
as hell.
drummers who do it really, really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you name any?
Phil Collins.
Phil
is
Collins,
definitely
that's
like
right.
the who's who of singer drummer combo.
Definitely.
But I mean, he's also a multi instrumentalist.
Exactly.
Man, that's so
Exactly.
that's so sad
Yeah.
about what's happening. I mean, he's still Doug over there. He's still around, right?
Yeah.
But he had to quit touring. What was it? A couple years ago. He's not doing well. But
yeah.
it was like 2 years ago or
with
something.
his
I think he
throat,
had to
think it was.
give it up, and he's got a disease of some
Yeah.
sort. I
Yeah.
think so. Well, God bless him, and I hope
Yeah.
he lives a lot longer. Yeah, he had great music, man.
He did. Yeah. Yeah. Very talented individual.
Oh, my goodness.
I just recently
Prolific,
learned
yeah.
that the Tarzan, he did the music for Tarzan, the animated
Yeah,
movie.
That's right.
Oh wow.
He learned the songs in every language just so it would sound the same to no matter who was listening around the world.
Wow.
So it's like
Great
mad
minds.
props
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah. It's
Is
super
that,
creative.
So is he one of your inspirations? So what are some of your
thank
inspirations?
you. That's a great question. I wanted to ask that.
He was.
Oh,
he
No.
was.
go ahead.
Cool.
You re-ask it.
No.
No, go ahead. You ladies, go
I mean,
ahead.
yeah,
already
You're going to ask
did.
it in a better way
Yeah,
than I
no,
asked
I
it
Yeah.
wanted to
anyway.
know what
Go
your
ahead.
influences were.
See.
You know? Yeah.
It
You
it
answer.
ranges. It ranges
You're-
a lot. I mean, early on in percussion and drumming especially was Santana.
Mm.
Oh,
Through
yeah.
and through.
They
I
are
mean,
so
that-
phenomenal.
The early years. I mean,
Super
when you listen to
dynamic.
the albums, I'm like, I'm on a Santana kick. I'm gonna listen to all the albums in order. I've never done that before in my life. And you could really start to see like where it became about Carlos. You know, not to complain about it, but it's like
Yeah.
before that it was like, wow, this is
They were
like,
all kinda
it's a
equal.
section.
Yeah.
The percussion section just made it happen.
Yeah.
And then getting into like the 90s and stuff, I would say, you know, Danny Carey from Tool. There's a lot of great drummers in that era, actually.
You like Tool, huh, Doug?
Tool's good. Yeah, it's a great band. Thank you for Tool.
That's fine.
Joey Jordison, I got to give him mad props, not just as a drummer, but as an all-around musician. He's the drummer from Slipknot.
Oh, okay.
But he is a songwriter through and
okay.
through. He will make you cry. He's that good of a songwriter. And he recently passed away, and that was like, I don't get like, you know, crazy like about celebrities,
Yeah.
but that was a hurtful one for me. That passing.
Yeah.
And then definitely Nine Inch Nails, another amazing songwriter, Trent Reznor.
See, you're getting back to at least what I call
Right.
an alt sound, an
Yeah,
alt
yeah.
rock,
Yeah.
hard rock, and a
Yeah.
hard. I'm going to create a new category. Okay, we're going to call it hard rock. Let me see. I'm going to form this in my head right now.
Hard
Hard alt rock.
Hard alt
Yeah.
rock.
Okay, is that? I think that's a thing I got to create right now because.
And then
I like it.
I mean, the moment I realized I wanted to be a rock drummer, it was the Jimi Hendrix Experience, the original trio. It's like, damn, here's a jazz drummer getting into rock and creating some of the most interesting sounds I've ever heard a drummer do.
No doubt.
You know, and the bass player Noel Redding is just a beast of a musician, and you have Hendrix who just does what he does best, and that's just, I'm gonna make crazy sounds out of this guitar using whatever the technology of the day is.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
That trio was just magic in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, Mitch Mitchell is just a phenomenal drummer. And I would say a lot of listening to him is where I learned how to throw in textures into more aggressive music. Yeah. So with the new position, I do that a lot. Here's
Nice.
Oh,
interesting
really? Okay.
textures and
I gotta see you.
Well, you definitely between.
I need a calendar.
You need a calendar.
Yeah,
You
of
need a
where
calendar.
he plays.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I wanna hear him
we
play.
recently signed up with
It-
the management company to help us get more shows.
Oh,
so
Okay.
we're gonna be doing at least once a month, I think.
Okay.
Well, I
That's our
look
goal.
forward to you guys growing because that band's
Yeah.
definitely got it. And don't get so big though, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
big.
gotta remember us.
I can't control that,
You
man.
gotta remember us little people.
Can't
You
control who's
Ascends.
looking. Just gotta bring it in. But you know,
No, but I'm saying is no matter how
no.
famous you
I
guys still hang out with
never,
your boy.
Never forget my roots ever.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh, so
you,
part of the roots.
Yeah.
Am I a
Yeah,
root?
Of course
yeah,
you are.
you
Nice.
come
Peter
calling,
Aaron.
I'm there, man.
Okay.
It's that simple. Yeah.
All right, I appreciate that.
I'm just
man.
gonna tag
having
along with Peter.
I'm having a good, and you know what? You're good company. I'm glad to have you. It's a growing thing, man. It's amazing, really, what this. I won't get into the whole thing. What started this because I said it a few times, but
Yeah.
it's been quite the journey.
No
It's been
doubt.
quite the journey,
Yeah.
and it's turned into quite the production too.
Yeah.
The other day, I'll just tell you a funny story, and this is not meant in any kind of a bad way at all. But so I had a reference, and somebody said, well, you know what? There's this person over here. Now, they have never been to one of these shows. They just heard about it. Okay. And they would be interested in you coming over and maybe something over here. Well, they live in Walnut Creek, so I'm not going to be like, no. But the normal criteria is you really should be part of this network so that you know what you're getting.
Right.
Okay, because everybody's got liability concerns, of course, and that's understandable. You got a house, you want to make sure somebody doesn't trip and fall and sue your ass or something like that, right? Okay, but that way you can see the type of people that come, how we treat the place. We end up, man, half the time between myself, Doug, and Terry, by the time we go, we made improvements to their property.
Right, right.
Not only do
Always
we
leave it
clean
cleaner
up
than
all
you
our
found
shit,
it. Right.
but we trim their hedges, and they're like, come on back,
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't need to
Repaved
do all
your driveway
that.
on my way out.
You're like laying stone and shit. No, man.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
had to come and play
Peter's
the
doing
concert.
That tree
a
needs to
mural
be-
on the
yeah,
wall.
Yeah, what's Doug doing up in that tree?
Yeah.
Well, he's just
He's
going the
creating
extra
shade.
mile,
How
that
about
Doug,
that?
Nah, yeah,
That's
that's
great.
funny.
That's cool
Okay,
stuff.
I just want to ask you
But
guys.
it's awesome to see that you have that hospitality, even though it's not your house.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And that's you,
Well,
Doug and Terry. It's
yeah.
just-
Anyway, so I want to
are
thank
the-
you.
are the
See,
faces
there
of
he
it.
is again. He's bringing me back to where I needed to be. Just finish that story. So I go over there and they show me the garage. Okay, so the garage is cool. You know, man, shit, that's like Pearl Jam and whatever, right? You know, it's how you
Another
musicians
influence,
do
by
it.
the way.
Okay, it's how you musicians
another
do it, right? You
influence,
out of the,
yeah.
you know, that's how the Apple people did it and whatever.
Right,
You know,
right.
you're out of your garage and
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
How big is it?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
This took a
Excuse
while.
me. Okay. What kind of show is this? This is a family show.
Yeah.
No. Hey, it's not my
F-bombs.
fault.
No, how
But
big
no,
was the
it-
garage. Yeah.
How big is it?
Yeah, the
It's
garage.
a 2-bedroom. No, it's a 2. See, you got me disheveled. It's a 2-bedroom. It's
You're
a
all-
2-car
you're all
garage.
stuttering and
Thank you very
everything.
much. Yeah, I feel hot in here all of a sudden. A 2-car garage, but he got a bunch of shit in the garage.
Right. That's
Sound
not gonna
stuff.
work.
Sound stuff. Yeah, because they turned it into a studio.
Oh, that's cool. Right on.
Okay. So he's like, well, you could play down here, no problem, because we jam all the time in here, and there's like 20 people that can get in there. But you know, all our people, they like to bring chairs.
Oh yeah.
You know, not everybody's
Chairs
in
and
there
food
like
and-
he's 17 years old and I'm going to be in the
Standing.
garage bed standing
Standing
for
at the
fucking 3
stage.
This
hours.
is not a standing
Right.
room
They're
only.
gonna be
Not for
sitting-
this show.
Yeah, you know, no, it's, you got to chill, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you're in your 30s or whatever, 20s, you can
You'll
kinda
know it's
chill.
the music getting to them when they start standing and want to dance. And
Oh, yeah. Well, we've had that too, dude.
oh yeah.
I mean, we've
Yeah,
had
it's-
that.
It's just the energy
Okay,
that happens.
one of my favorite shows. Okay, I told you this is real talk. Okay, was when you were with Farida, Simon Smith
Yeah,
on
yeah.
guitar,
Amazing guitars.
yourself, and Paul Deegan.
Yeah.
It's called "Work It Out."
Mm.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
So we were playing that song. We have a great video of that. Maybe I'll play that in this whatever videos I extract from Doug's constant work over there. And thank you, by the way.
You'll put that in there.
I may put that song in there. Either
I
that
think
or
that's
Soul
a really
Ascend.
good idea.
You like that
It's-
idea?
Yeah, I do.
So
To
here's the
include,
idea. You have-
Chris's music.
Right. Which
Yeah.
yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is this is an audio thing generally. Okay. So you get the full audio thing
Yeah.
on Spotify,
Right.
on YouTube,
But
and all
even
that.
there, you can put an intro. You could put.
Right, so that's what
Yeah,
we're doing,
yeah,
right? Exactly.
definitely.
So we have like some video footage, maybe 5, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. That's kind of a teaser, if you will, segments, if you will, right? And then go listen to the whole audio thing in case you're driving to work or something. You can't really look at the,
Right.
at the screen. You get in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
I see people talking on the phone still. I thought they were going to
Me
crack
too.
down on that shit.
They
thought so,
stopped.
too.
They just.
They stopped cracking
Yeah,
down?
they, yeah.
It's an uphill battle, you know.
Is
Just
that
like-
what it is?
Just
yeah,
like
just too
regulating
many.
Is that what
drugs,
the
you know, it's
cops?
It's just a no-win
Just-
no-win
I
situation.
want honesty in this world. That's
Yeah.
what they should do. They should go up on a podium and
Too
say,
many
"I'm
people."
sorry,
Yeah.
it was just fucking too much. It was just too much. I want a
You
real
people don't
politician."
listen. We can't keep up with it.
Yeah, be honest.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, be honest.
Yeah. Nobody
I don't
listens.
think can politicians. Does that go against like politicians can't be honest? Can they?
No, I think
No.
I think they'll burn.
They'll burn in
Yeah.
hell
Yeah, they'll
for
just
being
light
honest.
on fire,
Well,
just
they're-
spontaneously
they're-
combust. Like, oh
Yeah.
shit,
Oh,
there was an honest one and we just
Yeah,
lost them.
yeah.
They're gone.
oh my god.
Never to return.
I think are you
They're puppets like Pinocchio's.
yeah.
Okay,
you
I
know?
say
Yeah.
that in jest, but I think there are so few honest people. I won't get too political here, but man, it just feels like crap is coming out of their
That's
mouth,
An oxymoron
All
to say
the
honest
time.
and politicians together.
right? There may be some nugget of
it's
truth,
it's
and
the
then it's just
expectation
all
for
this
them to be
crap on top of that
correct.
one nugget that they
Yeah.
decided to pull out. So what do you do? Look, Doug and I were talking the other day. Okay, he came over. He was working on a job, and I don't know. Some news thing came up. We talk politics every now and then, and I was thinking to myself, because there's a lot of people. Everybody's so divided, right? There's either this way or that
Well,
way. You're
that's the
either
point.
Republican
Red
or you're
versus
Democrat.
blue.
There's no.
It's on purpose.
Yeah, they're all in bed with each other. They're all
Exactly.
they're all
Okay.
best
They're all the
friends.
same party,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh,
Exactly.
well,
All
right.
the same
Okay.
party.
But so everybody wants to promote or talk about,
Yeah.
civil
It's the good
war,
old
a
boys
potential
network.
civil war, if you
Yeah.
will. I'm just saying, how the hell would that work out these days? Before, you were given a uniform. You wore gray or you wore blue. Shoot the guy in gray. No, get the guy in blue.
Right.
What do you do now?
It would
Everybody's
just
got to
be
wear
like the
a
Wild
patch.
Wild West.
You just start
Yeah, which
shooting
is turning
anybody.
into all over
random,
again.
random,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's
Yeah.
turning into.
I just
again.
couldn't picture it. I mean, how do you know? I mean, how the hell? How would that even?
It's not gonna. It's that.
I don't know. But we'll talk about more positive things.
Yeah.
Sure,
This is
yeah.
how
Let's not go
music.
into the Wild West.
Yeah, it's not.
See, music is the great healer.
It is,
It
and
is.
and
It
that's
is.
that's a lot of why I want to be a musician again. I miss the days when I was just a musician.
Well, speaking of that,
So
go
why
ahead.
are you doing that? Are you doing a couple things?
I'm working several jobs currently.
Oh my goodness.
and-
Uh-huh.
But
Me too.
but I'm trying to scale a lot of that back and just get back into music as my main.
You're so
one and only
talented.
job.
I would love to see you do that. If
That's
that's
a
what you
goal.
want.
That's
you
a
know?
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I'd like to know is, where do you go from here? Like, what if you like me? If somebody were to ask me as a painter, as an artist, what do I want to do? Sometimes I think of a question. I'm like, okay, well, if I was asked that
Yeah.
shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? How would I answer?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
I don't know what the next step is, but I know what the end game is.
And what is that?
I want to tour. I want the world tour.
Yeah.
I've toured the West Coast. I've made it as far as Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as up north as Washington. I made it that far, but I want to go east, and I want to continue to go east until I make it all the way back to California. That's the end game for me.
That sounds like a good plan.
I love it, and I think the more people that see you and hear you play, the more opportunity you'll have,
I hope
because
so.
you are really talented, seriously. And you know, we can say that you're really talented, but you have to hear you to. You're an experience.
Okay, I like the way you
Yeah,
put that.
no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
true.
You're an
Yeah.
experience.
You're an
man.
experience. You have to experience you,
That's it.
like truly hear you live and have that whole experience. Because
Well, he
again,
definitely
your
has that energy.
your physicality and your talent and all those things I said, you know, about the many layers, textures, dimensions.
That's good to hear because
Yeah.
I've been teeter-tottering the last couple of months. Like, do I want to continue like my work myself in the studio, or do I want to do it more like on film,
Okay.
get video of it? I've been teeter-tottering between the two, and I think I'm settling on film.
Okay.
You know,
Is
as a-
doing both just too much?
I mean, no, but yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean,
I get it.
they're two different worlds,
Yeah,
you know.
I get it.
Being on stage versus being in the studio, they're two different worlds.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many unsung,
And you only have so much
amazing
time.
studio musicians that you'll never hear their name
Exactly.
because that's not the name that ends up on the album.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, you look at like amazing bands like the Beach Boys, for example. Like most of them, it was just the singer
Mm-hmm.
that was in the studio. The rest
Mhm.
of them were just touring.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right. They pick up whoever, wherever.
right? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But as far as like in the studio, it was a specific group of people that were there making that music happen.
Right.
And same for a lot of famous groups, you know. So I didn't want to be a footnote in the studio world,
Yeah.
you know. It's
Yeah.
like I'd rather be on stage.
Yeah.
That was my first love, and that's what got me
Absolutely.
to enjoy music was the stage. So
And there's nothing like
it's time
that.
to come back out.
It's a mutual. It's a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. That energy that comes
Mhm.
with and the evolution of a musician happens on stage.
Definitely.
I find.
Definitely, live is
Yeah.
the way to go.
Yeah, and songs
Yeah.
evolve too. You know.
Exactly.
Sounds like a good book. Or a story. The evolution of a musician.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
we live it
That's a
every
good
day, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
We got to work that.
Well, I love that goal and I love that vision for you. And
Yeah.
you know, I think it's so cool to hear people's vision, and like the end game. You called it the end game,
Yeah.
because I love holding someone's vision. Like I can envision it for you,
Mhm.
also, and hopefully that helps it expand.
Yeah.
You know, in some way, because we are all connected. You know.
Yeah. Someone down the line, someone called me a dreamer. I'm like, yeah, well, without that, we've got nothing.
That's
we're
right.
just machines working in a cogs. You know,
My
and
goodness, you
like
you,
a clock.
You create in your mind, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
that imagination's everything.
And
Yeah.
I gotta let it explode.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Exactly.
you
Bursting
know,
at the seams.
let's find out about you,
Yeah.
Miss Raine Jordan. Yeah, we got
Absolutely.
another 3 or 4 minutes. But so, what is your
3 or
end
4
game?
minutes.
Okay. Well, I mean, you go as long as you want to go. I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm just saying. So, what is because we want to know more and more about the great
Oh,
Raine
yeah,
Jordan.
so-
What is your end game? What is your dream? What are you trying to achieve? What's the
Oh,
big picture?
I don't think I have a like a thing that's in the outside world that I'm trying to achieve, honestly. And I think we talked about this in maybe one of the other sessions. The only thing that really has ever had its like hold on me is sort of my relationship with what we really are, which is like spirit or God. So my relationship with God and with other people we're all the same thing. So relationships are probably the most important to me, but more importantly is that relationship with my inner self. So self-development, awakening, really being the best, being who I was intended to be. And you know what? We kind of make up things like we should do this, we should do that. Actually, I think God lives our lives through us. And we have to get out of the way for that to happen. And usually it's for a purpose greater than just for ourselves, you know? And so it's like to get out of the way is really my end game, you know, and let what happens, happens.
That's what drove me towards wanting to be a part of the improv, was that being a part of something bigger than just myself.
Yeah, there we go.
Because it's such a huge network of musicians and audience members alike.
I was not expecting that reply in response to what it is you said, which was super deep and awesome.
Well,
And I said, okay, I'm into listening to Raine explain it. And then my boy over here, right here, just kind of segues into that and how that be. That was very nice.
Well,
the
you know,
whole thing. That was
absolutely,
very cool.
and I'm going to bring it full circle to say that's what attracted me to Peter is that spontaneity, which he got out of the way in order to let this.
That's my greatest asset. Get the hell out of
well,
the way.
I mean, no.
Get out of here.
No,
your
but you
ego
say what
gets
you
out
need
of
to
the way.
say.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And
you
that
let us finish the
creativity-
thought.
Yeah, and your creativity just kind of flows through you. Just like you said, you're not thinking about like what are people thinking about what I'm saying.
Right.
It's coming through you, and that's what makes you so creative.
You're not coming
so
in there with
lovable.
the thought that I'm going to control the situation. It's like, no, I just want to
Yeah.
push it, nudge it into the chaos that it needs to be,
And we all do
enough to
that.
create something beautiful.
Yeah, we are
and
the
wonderful.
arms and legs of that.
And you almost give me too much credit. Thank you for that.
No,
And the
no.
real talk
Credit-
is that
credit where it's
I just
due.
do it so I can be part of it. Just to make
Well,
sure that it can keep going.
Yeah.
Like,
But
it
yeah.
keep going. Because
But you had a vision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and I
To
dig
create
it. It's
something
like,
bigger
man,
than
I watch it all the time, you know, and I watch you, and I just played a video last night. I posted it on Instagram and whatnot. If you remember the song called Bebop Not.
Yeah, yeah.
Bebop
I caught
Not,
that this morning.
right?
Like, oh, I haven't listened
Dude,
to that in a
you
while. I'll check
you
it out.
rocked that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that or you saw that.
Yeah, that was
Doug,
bringing, that was
but
bringing
that
down
Ben
some deep-rooted jazz. And
Ben-
for me,
yeah.
I haven't
Ben
played a bebop
Musterka,
song in a long time.
Ryan Price, Martin Rossip, and
Yeah.
yourself. And I forget an audience member, Greg Guile.
Greg,
Okay,
yeah,
I got to
that was
give
great.
everybody love, everybody I can. There's so many. I'm sorry we didn't see Uncle C-section. He never showed up. We got to talk some mad shit to C-section.
Yeah.
Like he's going to the D-section. He is now demoted.
Yeah.
Wow, we even had a
C-section.
special.
You're moving to the D-section.
We
You're
had like
you're roadie now.
a top-notch seat for the sweet spot for him.
We
right?
did.
Yeah, and he didn't even
Yes.
show up.
Yes.
He had the
Yeah,
sweet spot.
Yeah,
That's okay.
A lot of thanks to Anthony for the
Oh no,
introduction. for sure.
he's great people. I
yeah.
dig him.
Yeah, that was also my reintroduction to him as well. Through a lot of crazy family stuff that happened, we kind of lost contact for a long time,
Okay.
and reconnected somewhere in my 30s, and it's been a great experience just reconnecting. He's pretty much the same way I remember him as a child, which is really hard to find. I mean,
Yeah.
most people you look up as a child, like you're a totally different person when you get to know them as an adult. Not Anthony,
Yeah.
same person. From
That's
start to
awesome.
finish.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's always been super supportive of,
Yeah.
of my craft, and
Well,
Yeah.
before we wrap this up, because I'm going to try to get these to about 100.
But
10
you know,
minutes,
I
but
never
yeah.
heard your 5 for booty or your 5. So
Oh my God! Oh,
Top
oh,
five for beauty. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
like,
Oh,
really
go ahead.
curious.
No, nobody cares about my top 5 booty
yeah, we all
booty
care.
getters list.
You-
your
I want to hear.
fans care.
Okay, do they? I've got
Yeah.
the one fan
But-
that lives in a
Yeah.
cave is
No, all
cares
your
about what I
fans. How
give a
many
shit
followers
about.
do you have?
I
Look
don't
at
know.
Chris
It doesn't
Chico.
matter. Yes, I'm more interested in what he has to say.
I
Your
would
top
say
5.
guitarist is at number 1. you
Okay.
know?
Oh, you're
He's
working the
going-
other
yeah,
way
that's
around
fine.
guitars.
Guitars
Mine
are
was
number
harder. I had to
1.
work backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the cop. Sorry, dude. That's like the cop who's like, now count backwards from prove you're not drunk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'd say guitars are at number 1.
Okay.
Lead singers are at number 2. Drummers are at 3.
All right.
He's quick with
Keyboard
this list.
players are, if they're in the band, they tend to be at number 4. And
Yeah,
then, and then you got
I
the
didn't
bass
say
players.
keyboard. Keyboard's amazing. You piano. Oh my God, yes.
I noticed you did leave out the upright bass.
Well, you said top 5. I kind of ran out of space. you know?
yeah, there's like 30
Yeah,
instruments.
I also took it, within a realm where it's like it could be jazz, it could be funk, it could be
Yeah.
R&B,
Yeah.
blues.
Yeah.
Those are the typical instruments that you would hear,
Yeah.
even in like a big arena rock band. There's
So what was last?
there was
the bass player.
the bass.
Bass
Oh,
player,
you
okay.
ranked up the
Bass
bass.
player.
Well, you realize
Yeah.
drummer was on that list, right?
Number 3.
Yeah, number
Okay.
3. Yeah.
And bass player was number 1.
Guitarist
no,
was number
Oh,
1.
guitars. But bass player was in there, right?
Right,
Last.
5. Yeah,
Last.
number 5.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but
Yeah.
he's in there twice.
Drummer and bass player. Yeah,
That's
he,
what I'm
he
saying.
loves
Well, I
himself.
mean-
So what does that mean when you
That's
play?
it.
You are two of the
not to
top
toot my own
five.
horn. I didn't even think of it in that context
You know what
to
I'm
begin
saying?
with. But I also
you
do play
got
guitar.
double the
so-
check. Oh, and the
And he
guitar.
does sing.
Oh.
Yeah, and I do
And
sing.
you
So,
sing.
and I do play keys. So it's like I'm not even
Oh,
thinking of it.
shit.
I threw myself in there as my hat in as a drummer. So number 3 is fair.
He's
Though-
got all
though
the bases covered.
A lot of my bandmates would disagree. You know, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of people that come to talk to my bandmates end up talking about me at some point, and I got a lot of flack for that in a lot of groups.
Well, that's your problem for
yeah,
having
especially
personality.
you know.
Okay,
you
I
know.
don't feel bad.
But it
for you.
no,
Yeah.
I just took it comically. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
it just
yeah.
is what it is.
Hey, look, man.
Yeah.
You got to stand out. You got to do your thing. You're
And-
a nice,
yeah.
down to earth dude.
Yeah.
You're easy to talk to.
Thank you.
I know people like talking to you. I
Yeah,
know
and
everybody.
I love talking to
the
people.
amount
It's
of
one my
people.
favorite
Let me say
things.
this real quick. We got to wrap this up. But the amount of people that come up to a show, and they say, "Who was that drummer? Who was that drummer?"
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to either come up. You know, you're busy. You're pushing
Oh,
away.
that's
Other people are
unfortunate.
talking to you and
Well,
stuff.
yeah.
So there's people that are like,
Understandable,
"Well, I'm
I
not
guess.
going to get into all that." But who was that?
I
drummer?
hope at some point, if they feel that way, they
Well,
do end
I
up
have
coming up and talking.
a-
So I would love to
irregular
chat.
amount of people that say, "Let me." This
have a
I don't
question,
have to.
too.
But you
Yeah,
have
go
a
ahead.
question? No, okay. I was just going to say that it's weird because I actually have with you. Some people say, they don't say, "Let me know every time a show is up." Coming up. They're like, "Let me know whenever Chris is coming back." I said, "Damn, what about all the other shows?" Okay. The other ones are killing it too.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I just want to know when Chris
And-
Ruiz is
And
gonna do
they ask me, and it's like I try real hard. You know, it's coming. Like I try not to spill the beans because it's part of the rules. You know?
Exactly.
That is part of the rules.
Yeah,
But go
I
ahead,
try not
Raine.
to spill.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So do you like that, Chris, when audience member comes up and introduces themselves
Absolutely.
and
Yeah. I would say because a lot of the times when I'm playing in clubs, it's like it's 3 bands, anywhere from 2 to 5 bands a night.
Mhm.
You know, so you don't always get that chance to talk to people because you're constantly moving equipment. It's
Yeah.
a hurry up and wait kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we don't always get that opportunity to talk to people. So it is really nice for them to come up and give some feedback or just have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
just talk about music or whatever. Let's talk
Mhm.
about food. I love food. I love many different
Mhm.
art forms that
Yeah. So it's a
I
good
enjoy
thing.
the
You don't feel
conversations.
bothered by that
not
or
at
anything.
all.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Just
never,
wondered. Always wondered. Yeah.
Never.
Well, if you did, boy, that would be a hard profession. to
Oh
be
yeah.
in.
Yeah, it would be.
Or you
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
train yourself to
Yeah.
suck,
And-
so
but I mean,
nobody
there,
wants
there,
to come and
there
say
are
hi.
definitely musicians that are just like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
never
Like I
understood
just
those
got off the
people.
stage
Yeah, I
or
don't
whatever,
either,
and it's just
yeah.
like,
You know,
Yeah.
don't
you're
bug me for
performing,
like trying to
you know,
compliment me.
You wouldn't. Why would you be playing? You're playing for. You're not saying
Right.
for the audience,
out
but
there,
obviously
though.
an audience helps. No.
right, they're out there. Yeah. Yeah. But I would say a good 90, maybe 95% of musicians out there are very appreciative of their
Yeah.
fans and
Yeah.
their following.
Mm-hmm.
Do it before we wrap it up, because I'm pretty much done. You have anything else on your mind you want to ask him?
I just want to
to
make sure that our viewers, our audience,
Viewers
our
and
listeners, know where to find you and what should I tell them or what should we tell them?
Crispycruiser.com.
Crispy Cruiser.
that's Cruiser
How
with
did
a
you come
Z.
up with that? Are you into crispy
See, I knew
Kreme?
that question was going to come up.
Dude, are you into what? The
All
jelly
right.
filled?
No,
Is
no,
that
no,
what
no,
you're
no.
into?
Is it crispy
Okay,
with
Sprinkles
so-
on top? What is it?
So
Hot glazed.
I reached it's kind of an
I could go for a donut.
I reached
I want a donut.
Yeah.
I want a donut and some coffee.
at about
I
12
hope you got this, dude.
at about
I
12
want a
years
vegan
old,
donut. Go ahead,
A
Chris.
vegan
Sorry.
donut. Well, I'm sorry, Chris. What the hell's a vegan
It
donut?
just doesn't have any animal products in it.
Some
So
people
no
know how to
butter.
make them well.
Good?
Yeah.
Some
Are they
people-
Oh, are
good?
you
Not
kidding?
all are created equally though. I
Yes,
will
that's
admit.
true.
So
you have to get good. I'm going to bring
Some
you a
vegan donuts
donut.
are good.
Yeah, I'm going to
Yes.
make you a vegan.
Are they like
donut.
3 times the price for a good
No.
vegan donut?
No.
It's the same price?
Yeah.
I want a donut. Go ahead, Chris. I digress.
So, about 12 to 13 years old, I got into poetry as a
Mhm.
writer, and developed the name Cruiser 612 as my pen name.
Ah,
Now,
nice.
Cruiser is my first initial. My last name's Ruiz, which is why it's
Ah.
with a Z.
Oh.
It's a lowercase e and an uppercase R because that's my middle initial.
Nice.
So that just kind of flowed into that. Now the name Crispy came about because I, at some point when my hair was shorter, put a shit ton of gel in it, and my
I know
my
the
mom's
feeling.
best friend was like,
It's
"What does that feel like?" And touched, she's like, "Oh, that's crispy," and kind of just started calling me Crispy, right? Well, the name kind of fell off, and then when I was about 20 years old, my cousin was born. And when he turned 2, he called me Cousin Crisp.
Oh,
So it's like, all right, let's add the
so
Y back
cute.
and let's make that part of the name too.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So
That's very
it became
cool.
I needed a jazz middle, like,
Yeah.
jazzy name,
Yeah.
and Crispy kind of became
Very
the
cool.
thing.
That's
And
going to
then
stick with me.
blended
now,
the
dude.
two.
Nice job.
I blended the two, and that kind of became my stage name, and it stuck.
Beautiful.
I like it.
Yeah.
So crispy
Cruiser
cruiser.com.
with a Z.com.
But you get that
.com.
on Instagram, too. Isn't
Cruiser.
that your
Yes.
Instagram handle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Instagram, Facebook. As
So
well.
if you want to follow Chris, what they should punch in?
yeah, Instagram's a good one. I'm building the YouTube channel. That'll be up there soon.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
That would be
I
fantastic.
posted some stuff on there years ago and kind of just let it, fly away. But now
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it.
Hey, we got to go. I've teased
Sure.
about leaving here like a long time ago, but
Yeah.
my last thing is, and I think I said that like 3 last things ago, was I got to say this, okay? I'm an easygoing dude. I get along with a lot of people, and I respect everybody's opinion. I could completely disagree with somebody, but I'm letting you know, man, that's the way they feel. Don't tell.
Same.
But you know what drives me nuts? This whole thing to feel like you have to say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
I want to be able to say Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, and if
Say
I'm
it.
wrong
Was
because
the-
that person's Jewish and I
the
messed
one I
up, I
heard
should have
was,
said Happy Hanukkah,
was it,
whatever. Then
Merry
they can correct me.
Christmas Kwanzaa
Yeah,
was one
I
I
don't care.
heard. I'm
I
like, whoa,
want-
that's a mouthful.
You know, so now the downside of that is you have to have a calculated risk and see if they're in that group, right? But I'm willing to take that chance
I think you should.
to go
Yeah.
back to a time where it was simpler in this
Well, my
world.
family celebrates Christmas, so you can say Merry Christmas to me all you
Yeah.
want.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Merry Christmas
Yeah.
to you too.
Merry Christmas. Raine Jordan,
Yeah.
you're going to get Merry Christmas
Yeah, that's
even
good
if
with
your
me.
New York self wants Happy
I
Holidays.
do not.
Okay.
I'll take
What are you
Merry
doing for-
Christmas.
What are you doing?
Christmas,
You said you're going to
Friends,
stay home.
family, yeah. Cook, eat.
Okay,
be
that's it.
merry.
What are you cooking? You doing turkey? You do have you do
No,
any of those
I'm
staples?
a vegan, so
Oh,
stuffed,
yeah,
stuffed
she
mushrooms.
didn't
Yes.
say that.
I do these.
I,
Like,
I gracefully took
amazing-
Merry Christmas as
I
well.
wonder if you cook a turkey, you just sit there,
no,
but you don't
I'm a
eat it,
great,
and
great
you
cook,
just
though.
see how strong a vegan you are.
Oh, I'm strong.
You're a strong vegan.
I'm a strong
Good for
vegan.
you.
What do you think
16
about?
years strong.
Okay,
Right on.
Yeah.
but do you get mad at somebody who's non-vegan?
No, I never even mention it.
Can
No.
somebody sit across from you
They
and
can
eat a
eat-
piece of chicken, or
I
you're
have
not going to
friends-
like New York
Not at
shiv
all.
them or
I'll
something?
go pick it up for them. Yeah. I won't cook it.
Pick up
no.
her butter.
Oh,
knife.
that
I'm
brought
like,
up a
what
whole
can I
other
get
story,
you?
but yeah, we
Okay,
gotta go.
we got time for a quick story.
Okay,
So
okay.
I said shiv him because he was okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So I was in Chicago earlier this week, and of course, that brings up all the old movies that were filmed in Chicago. One of them being Adventures in Babysitting, and I don't know if you remember that movie.
Yeah, I
Not too
do.
much.
Mhm.
But there was a scene where they were in the middle of a gang fight, and they're trying to de-escalate the situation, and one of the gang members throws a knife into the kid's foot. And they go to the hospital. He's like, this big rush emergency thing, and he's like, I got one stitch. Like, that's my big gang story, like one stitch. And I'm thinking about that, and it's my last day there, and we're getting ready to head out, and my friend's sitting across the table from me, and she asked me if I needed the steak knife. I'm like, no, I don't need that. And as I go to reach for my drink, she brings the steak knife to my finger and grazes it across my finger. Doesn't draw any blood or break any skin, but I'm thinking this can't be my one Chicago knife story. I got stabbed or cut by a friend across the table.
Intentionally.
Yeah, on my way out.
This is a perfect way to end this. This is a perfect way to end
All right, be
this.
careful with those steak knives,
Yeah,
folks.
those steak knives.
Yeah.
Thankfully, dull.
Yeah.
is
Yeah, you don't
dull
have
for
that
me.
problem at the vegan house of vegans or whatever.
Well, I don't.
Oh, do you-
Yeah,
yeah, I don't
no,
know.
I don't
Like
live.
this.
There are a lot of non-vegans, so people do use steak knives.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! All right, so let's bounce.
All
We've
right.
taken
Thank you
enough
for
of your
having me.
time. It's
Yeah.
been Chris Ruiz, a great drummer, and
Thank
you can reach him on Instagram at Crispy Cruiser.
Yeah,
Crispy
Crispy
Cruiser
with a Z.
.com.
with the Z.
Or
Yeah.
crispycruiser.com will have the links to everything, including all the bands, including Peter's improv show and
Okay.
previous other works that I've done.
Nice. And
With
Raine
other
Jordan,
groups.
you're awesome as always. You're the best.
Likewise.
It was a
Thank you
pleasure
so
meeting you.
much, Chris. Yeah, it was
Thanks
a
for
pleasure
putting up
meeting
with
you.
me,
yeah.
you guys. I appreciate
Thanks for
it.
hanging. Yeah.
All right,
Honestly.
everybody. Chris Ruiz, check him out. I'm going to post a couple more videos of him. Love you,
right.
brother. Thank you.
Love you too. Thank you.
I was having a good time. We went long.